Hello guys, let's talk about breathing and how it can be really helpful for us to play our capoeira game and also to be able to learn and memorize our movements a lot quicker, a lot faster. So one of the main topics here that I want to share with you is we're going to be talking about two major things, two kind of ways that our body can express breathing through movement. A lot of times we'll see people breathe like this. So what's happening here when we see that shrugging of the shoulders, right? We know that by shrugging, we're using more of our shoulder muscles or our trap muscles in the back, and that's what's creating the contraction to help open up our lungs. But what's happening when we're using those muscles from our back or around our shoulders is we're creating a lot of stress and tension here, right? We're waking up more of our sympathetic system, the flight or fight response. So it puts us a little bit at on edge, if you will. And when we're filling out our lungs, because we're using the muscles around the top area, most of the air doesn't fill to the bottom of our lungs, right? So it's as if we're filling our gas tank with half of the gas and we want to do the full road that's ahead of us. The other thing that it creates is a lot of tension in our muscles, right? So as we might know, our muscles are like elastic bands. If the elastic band is nice and relaxed, I'm able to create tension really quickly and relax it. However, if there's already tension there and I want to create more tension, it's going to be a lot tougher. So I'm not going to be as explosive as I need to be. Essentially, it pays off to relax a little bit. So what we want to do is we want to be relaxed when we're breathing as best as possible, even though it could be a little bit tricky with the stress of a game. And we want to use more of our diaphragm muscle here. So that's the muscle that's right below our lungs, and that's the one that's going to be pulling our lungs down to fill it with air here. By doing so, it's much easier to relax our muscles and therefore produce a lot more power. So how do we know what kind of breathing are we doing? How do we know if we're more like this or if we're using more of our diaphragm to it? There's a few tricks that I want to share with you that are very simple to do, and it helps to wake up your nervous system and to kind of tell your system what are you using and to correct it. The more that you correct it, the more that you think of breathing with your abdomen or your diaphragm, the easier it will be to do the same thing when you're under stress or when you're playing or training when you're not really thinking about it. Although it will be helpful to think about it. So here's one little trick, one exercise if you will, that's the crocodile breathing. It's a breathing exercise that we do on the ground. With this simple exercise, what we're looking at for exactly is we want to see the lower part of our back, our lumbar area, go up and down. If that's the area that's moving, that means that we're filling our lungs to its maximum capacity, and that's the area of our body that's expanding to let the air in. There's more air that goes in, plus it helps to relax most of the body as well. So that's the things that we're looking for in that exercise. Other ways to look at it is simply by standing up and pressing against your belly. So that's one good way as well to see, are you belly breathing or are you shrugging as you're doing it? It's very simple to do. We could do it anywhere. If it's hard to control, if we're trying to breathe with our belly, standing up, and all we get is these shoulder shrugs, then I suggest we just simply do it on the ground to hot wire a little bit your nervous system, and that way you'll be better set to do it standing. Once you get it standing, then it's easier to get in the game. Now in the game, what I suggested for you guys to do is when you're playing or when you're training, to think about breathing deeply. So we do the ginga. Always breathing through the nose, out through the mouth, and thinking of deep breathing. That's gonna engage your diaphragm muscle, and you're gonna be able to get much more air, making you much more effective. But the most important thing is you're gonna be able to relax. When you're kicking, when you're moving, you want to explode in your movement. But if your elastic band is already tight, you're not gonna be able to produce that much power. If it's relax and then you tighten it really, really quickly, that's where power comes. Now, the breathing becomes very, very different because I'm stretching my elastic band really, really quickly. So I'm still deep breathing, but when I let it out really, really quickly. We see this technique in a lot of different martial arts. We see it in boxing, we see it in Kung Fu, and anywhere else. It's nothing new. However, it's not being utilized as much in Capoeira. And to be able to use it, that breathing in and letting the air out makes you much more powerful, right? You're not using your muscles, that slow contraction as much. You're using other mechanics to help you out. You can prepare your kick, breathe in. When you get to that point where you're just about to launch your leg, you let the air out. The quicker you let the air out, the faster that recoil mechanism is gonna happen and your kick is gonna go. All right, so those are little tips to help your breathing, help you become a better player in Capoeira. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. If you like the video, let me know as well, and we'll expand on the topic and we'll add even more information coming up in the next videos. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.